Hi, and welcome to our second chakra. So, we've been just begun this discussion or this journey of the chakras, which basically are the subtle lines of energy that converge and form these. I like to think of, when water goes down a drain, how it creates that funnel or that eddy of water, circular. This is what's happening with the energy of the chakras in each of the centers of our body as we work from really solid elements all the way up to more etheric and more expansive elements as we work up the chakra. So we started with earth element last week, very solid, about stability, and this week we move into the water element, which is about movement and feeling and creativity and relationship. So where last week was the root chakra, I am, and this week is I feel, because now we're moving into relationship and our emotions and how we are in relationship with ourselves as well as others out in the world. And you'll notice as we work through these elements in our asana practices, it becomes how we're directing our attention in any given moment as to how we're determining how we're feeling and how we're working with these particular energies. So it's not like we're doing these wild and crazy poses, although they are going to change. It's really about how we direct our attention. And so this particular chakra resides in the reproductive area, so below your belly button, in the area of the pelvis. And really when we're talking about the center of the pelvis. I just had incoming dogs. And this, as I said, relates to creativity, and it can be literal creation of new human life as a baby, but also metaphorically to aspects of ourselves, to projects, to ideas. And when we're tapped into this chakra in a healthy way, we're tapped into sources of higher energy that helps us write that beautiful music and develop an innovative business, create a loving family, or art, whatever it is that we're creating. And we're always creating our own existence, our own life. So this is, again, water about flow and creativity and finding that flow in your life, that emotional intelligence, because the water is also about our emotions. And this is where we hold our most creative, potent creative powers and our dreams and our fantasies. But we must be grounded in that root chakra in order for these ideas and these dreams and these visions to actually take root in the material world. So one chakra is not more important than the other. They're all important to recognize and be balanced in. So we're going to be working with hip openers and this area, the sacral hip connection, so very close to the elements of the root chakra. And as we work with these asanas to help us release our grip, it can help us to loosen our grip in life as well, and to let things ebb and flow. And you think of how the moon affects the ebb and flow of the tide, and we connect with our ebb and flow of our breath, like the waves that come in and go back out. And I just heard this analogy, which I thought, it wasn't about the chakras, but I thought it was really fitting for talking about the chakras, of imagining a really hard earth surface. And I have very hard soil here, but if you took a pickaxe, you'd have to work really hard to create a line, a furrow through the earth. But once that was created, it's not going to close up very easily. And I think of that pickaxe as emotional disturbances that we experience in our life. And so once it's created that scar is staying there for a long time because it's very rigid surface. And it might take seasons and rains, many of them, for that to level back out. But if you think of the water element being more fluid, it's really easy to drag that pickaxe through really deep through the water without emotional turbulence, but it closes up quickly and goes back to that harmony, that emotional equanimity. And so we feel those emotions deeply in the watery element, but when we're healthy with our emotions, we come back to that equilibrium much more quickly. I think that's just about anything else that I want to talk to you about. Oh yeah, this also relates to all the watery things in our body. So tears, urination, menstruation, our circulation. And this is also our sensuality, our sexuality, intimacy and desire, and also our sense of taste. And I like to think of this, my favorite dark chocolate, to take a piece of that dark chocolate and how I feel when I am tasting it and savoring it. It's a very sensual feeling experience related to the sense of taste, and that is second chakra. So we can attune to these sensory pleasures of nature, the sights, the sounds, the feelings, smells, rhythms, and delight in the beauty of ceremony and ritual, play, and pause in sacred simplicity. So let's get on our mats and see what this feels like in our bodies, and feel the difference from last week's practice to this week's practice. And I will meet you there. Namaste.